Totally agree on that. One thing, you have this experience working in Hong Kong. Hong Kong as a model anti-corruption agency. People often complain that Hong Kong is a small city-state. Like Singapore is also a small city-state. How can you apply those in the complex situation like ours? The context is totally different here in Nepal.
Well, it is, of course. The context in every country is different. Every country is unique. Botswana is not a city-state.
Okay.
It's a very big country, very small population, spread all over, very thinly. But Botswana, as you probably know, is regarded on the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index as by far the least corrupt country in Africa. And indeed, it comes within the top 25% of all countries in the world that are measured, right?
Okay.
So, yes, we have different cultural backgrounds, we have different religions, we have different political systems, but look, at the end, we are all human beings, and we all suffer from the same tendencies to be bribed and to bribe. We all have that problem.
I was specifically referring to the political context. The present government is coalition government. No one holds the majority, and the government have to negotiate, pacify the opposition. Corruption is very much a solution here than a problem. So how would you,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Corruption, you may be right in saying that corruption is what you have to live with at the moment. But it doesn't have to be like that. In Hong Kong and in Singapore, when they started to fight corruption seriously, 40 years, 50 years ago, the people themselves said, this is a waste of time and money. We can't change. We have to live with this. It's a fact of life. Why bother? We can just adapt to it. Well, the people of Hong Kong and Singapore have proved to themselves that things do not have to be like that. Those communities have completely transformed themselves so that they are now highly intolerant of corruption.
How would you tackle that? You said about transformation takes long time, a generation. Nepal can't wait next 20 years just to have it.
Well,
we have already spent 70 years.
Well, you've been trying for a long time, and you haven't been very successful. Nepal doesn't rate very highly in the TI index.
There is no quick fix also.
There is no quick fix. The reality is that it does take time. If you ask me how long, I would say to you within a generation. A generation, 20, 25 years. In the greater scheme of things, that's no time at all. And you do not suddenly get a turnaround. It doesn't happen like that. It happens gradually.
Is there a country...
But you can have, just let me finish this if I may, you can have progress made from the very beginning. And you can measure that progress, and you need to tell the community what progress you're making. They are the taxpayers. You need to convince not only the taxpayers, but the government itself and the donors to continue supporting this fight against corruption. They're not going to do that if you're not making any progress.
In your experience, is there a country which has really, within a quick span of time, transformed itself?
No.
No?
No. No. I think it takes time. You can't escape that.
Thanks, Bertrand, for your interview.
Not at all.
Sorry, go.
Mr. Bertrand, you mentioned the fact that in some countries like Saudi Arabia, there is a concept of legitimate commission. I read this in one of your interviews you gave to the Princeton success story. How will you change that perception? I mean, I have a bit of experience in Africa, in a country like Angola, where corruption is widespread. Even the police, they ask you money all the times. How can you really change that paradigm?
Well, we have to be clear in our thinking. we are not calling all commission corruption. That's not right. The world runs on commission, and there is legitimate commission and unlawful commission. What is unlawful commission is commission that your boss, your employer, knows nothing about. It is secret commission. It's commission that the employee is taking without the boss knowing anything about it. That's the mischief. And that is the form of corruption which has to be addressed to the private sector. So in a country which is run very much as a family business, where the head of state and his family are in control. That's how they choose to run the country. If the Minister of Defense or any other minister is the son or the nephew of the head of state, and the head of state says, yes, my boy, you can take a commission on this deal that we're about to make, then in my view, there is nothing wrong with that. It's only if the law of the country says you are not allowed as an employee to take commission that the boss doesn't know about, then it would be wrong. But if your boss knows about it in any country, in the United Kingdom, in the United States, if the boss knows about your going to earn part of your earnings on legitimate commission that he knows about and has approved, then, as the Americans say, where's the beef? There is no beef, because the world, as I say, runs on lawful commission. Does that, I hope, answer your question?
Yeah, and also you argue that many countries often make the strategic mistake to go after big fish.
Yes.
And people, public opinion believes that because few big fish have been caught, then the overall perception of corruption has been changed, has been improved. Mm-hmm. And you're arguing that that's not enough, starting with the big fish.
That's correct. You see, it's a terrible mistake for a number of reasons. But one of them is that it gives a double message that some corruption matters and other corruption does not matter. That's not right. We know from our experience everywhere in the world that if a country suffers from many, many small acts of corruption, that is as harmful to the well-being of a country as a single large act of corruption.